One. Make sure we are live. Stand by here. And I think we are. All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. This is the Spaniard keeping it tight, and we are doing a special edition. We did it last week where we had DevilDog come on and share some thoughts and views. But today we got something special lined up for you. It's 7:24 in Chicago time, 8:24 New York City time. What is it in L.A.? 2 hours behind Chicago, so it's 5:24 in L.A. Here's a little segment we call "Let's talk about what's going on, man." Let's just talk about what's going on. I got DevilDog on the show tonight, or this morning. He is on this morning. He is an NYPD officer. He's got a lot in his mind. So, DevilDog, take it away.
Well, good morning, Spaniard.
Good
I
morning.
appreciate to getting this show up and running. The incidents that took place that everyone's seeing all over social media and on the news regarding that horrific, and that's all I can describe as horrific incident where that officer, I believe from Minnesota, acted inappropriate and where he actually placed his knee on that poor gentleman's neck while he was rear cuffed, mind you, and he subsequently succumbed and he passed away. That just got me burning up. Couldn't sleep, feeling a mixture of emotions regarding that incident. It's tough just when you think the police department was getting their reputation. Something like this sets us back. I just want everyone to know, not only in New York City, throughout all of law enforcement, that's not how it's done. We do not do that, especially a tactic like that. That is not taught. That is not authorized. And I'm glad that the mayor wasted no time in firing those individuals, and they should be prosecuted.
Right. Now, here's the one thing that I guess if we're going to talk about it, let's just talk about it. A couple weeks ago, there was a protest in Lansing, Michigan, at the Capitol. Right. We had all these armed people with their machine guns and their, the ARs, whatever, strapped to the T's, right? And nothing happened, right? It just seemed odd. Here, let me just back up just a little bit. People were outraged because they couldn't go out, right? They were protesting the shelter at home place. They were threatening the governor, even threatening the governor of Michigan, and nothing happens, right? Nothing happens. Here we have an unarmed black man who is knelt on as he's cuffed by a police officer for 7 minutes. Now, I want you guys to start your watch right now. 7 minutes, right? Start it. I'm telling you right now, start that goddamn watch right now. And 7 minutes. I want you to count off 7 minutes and see how long 7 minutes is. And imagine somebody on your neck for 7 minutes, a knee on your neck. Now, for some of you guys who don't know anything about contact sports, wrestling, football, if ever tried rugby, it hurts, man. Getting hit in the neck hurts. There's a lot of anatomy here. Okay, there's a lot of anatomy, some vital parts here that supply blood and nerves to the brain. 7 minutes. All right. I hope you guys have started the clock because we've already got 30 seconds now under our belt.
Correct.
7 minutes and outrage. All right, outrage pours out because of this, and tear gas is thrown. It's just chaos. It's chaos. And so that's what this is about, folks. This has nothing to do with political correctness. This has nothing to do with, party lines. This is about humanity, folks. Right. And I have an officer right here, an NYPD officer who has served his community truthfully, with integrity and honor for so many years. And shit like this that has happened gives officers like this a bad name. So here's your chance, ladies and gentlemen. We have a good officer, right? We have a good officer right here. Here's your chance to ask him some questions, all right? Because it's not always like that. Just because of that one officer that you saw kneeling, and I'm not going to show the picture. I had it queued. I don't even want to show that anymore. Yeah, I don't even want to show it. But there's for every one of those shitty officers, there's plenty more. And we have one here right now. So we have a real officer. So if you have a question, by all means, Our voices are weapons free, man. We're clear. We are not censoring anybody here. So if you got a question, go ahead and chime it in. I will monitor the comments. Or if you want to call, you
Yeah,
could go ahead.
call
I
in.
will open up the phone line 219-232-VETS. That's 219-232-8387. Give me a call, man. Give
Absolutely.
DevilDog a call. Give him a call. Let me see if we have any questions here so far. No, so far so good.
Yeah, I
People are
know
just chiming in saying,
it's a touchy subject, but this needs to be done. Please give us your questions, and I understand, the people of Minnesota are upset, and I know that the
"No, yeah,
riots occurred. You know, I don't blame them for being upset, 100%. All I ask is, we have to keep some type of calmness. I understand that the riots are going on and the burning of these shops, but just understand these owners of these shops, they didn't do nothing wrong. They didn't do nothing wrong. Please don't go out and loot. Don't go out. Let's protest in a peaceful way. Let's respect this gentleman's his legacy. We don't want to demeanor it by doing stuff that's, going to take attention away from exactly what happened. These cops were wrong. These individuals, the other cops that were just standing there and watching it, they should have acted. And yes, they got to be charged as well. That just burned me up when I seen the other cop, the Asian cop, just walking around. I mean, my wife was like, you would have never done that. Of course not. I would have yanked that cop and I told him what the hell's wrong with you. And then
got
the
a
cop,
question.
yes, go ahead,
DevilDog.
Spaniard.
We got a question. Is at what point is it appropriate to step in and save a life? So I'm assuming that this question is geared towards civilian bystanders are watching this. At which point do we say as citizens? Now this has been brought up before. The
Yes,
police work for the people, not vice versa, right? So when we
correct.
say, I'm assuming this question is that as a people, when do we know, at which time do we say, oh man, that's not right. We need to step in. What are your thoughts on that, DevilDog?
I agree with that. And let me tell you something. That one witness that actually filmed it, he acted appropriately. He didn't do anything wrong. The problem was with that was the cop wasn't hearing it. He didn't want nothing to do with it. He thought what he was doing was right, blaming it on drugs. Even if it was drugs, who cares? That guy who filmed it, and I seen him yesterday on when he did an interview. He was, you could tell the emotion that was going through him, telling the cop, guy, you're hurting him. He can't breathe. That's a touchy subject because some cops have such egos. They don't want these civilians telling them what to do. So I
Right.
leave that up to the cops that were around. They should have
Yes, I
stepped
agree.
in. They should
I
have stepped.
agree.
I don't want these citizens to be afraid, to exactly what he did. He was yelling at the cop, guy, please. He wasn't doing nothing wrong. The civilian. It's just that the cop wasn't having it. So, I don't think he did it. Well, I know he didn't do anything wrong. That the guy who was filming it. The problem is you have these officers that have chips on their shoulders and they don't tolerate that. I know me as a law enforcement, if I would see, let's say my partner do some crap like that, you damn right I'm going to step in. I'm going to step in and say, hey, what are you doing? That's it. It's enough. So I know the frustration of that question, which means, okay, what if that guy would have stepped in? Going to be totally honest, that guy would have been in cuffs as well for no reason. If that innocent civilian would have jumped in to try to prevent that,
No, I
something bad
agree.
would have happened to that guy.
No, I know, and that's
It's
I
unfortunate.
think that's what people are kind of afraid of right now because it's just it's happening to a point where you said it best, ego. I think ego gets in the way, and if you see this happening, if you see a man who is handcuffed being being physically harmed, I think as humans, I think in this day and age, police or not, we need to speak up in a tactful way, though, in a tactful way. But again, I don't know, man. The thing that I guess the big question that I have is what was going on? I guess I didn't see the bigger picture. Like I wish I would have, panned back and saw the whole big picture. Was there anybody else there that could have gotten in there to prevent a death from happening? Because again,
Right.
I don't know, and we don't know that the tensions that were happening prior to all that, but it doesn't matter. It just doesn't
Doesn't matter.
matter. I know you went to New York. You went to the New York Police Training Academy somewhere in New York State, to be trained as a police officer. I've been to both Indiana State Academy and the Illinois State Academy, and I just want to let you guys know, civilians out there, that is not a tactic that is taught at these academies. So there was something very wrong with that tactic to begin with, one, and two, I don't want people to get the wrong impression of all police officers. That is not how things are done, right? So, and again, police are being attacked, law enforcement's being attacked, and we get it. I get it. But here's your chance to ask more questions. So I'm going to go back over and see. Once cuffed, he should have been stood up or placed in the back of the cruiser. That was another question. Why was he on the ground so long, DevilDog? Why do you think he was on the ground so long?
That's absolutely right. He was rear cuffed, which means he was detained. And from what I saw from those several angles of those cameras, he wasn't resisting. So why was he on the ground for so long? I don't know. He wasn't a threat. What was that officer feeling? I don't know, because from what I looked at, the officer's hand was in his pocket, and he was like nonchalantly just continuing to apply pressure where the guy's pleading with this cop, telling him he couldn't breathe. Correct. Once he's placed in cuffs, put him in back of the squad car and take him. That's it. Why are you keeping him on the ground? Were you afraid? He wasn't resisting. I understand if he was resisting and you got to maintain some type of control. However, that doesn't give the cop the right to put his freaking knee on the guy's neck. Yeah. Exactly. There's ways to subdue a perpetrator. And wow, the crime of the century, a forged freaking check, really?
Yeah.
How do I know that maybe he just got that bill and from someone else and he just tried to purchase something? Regardless of the crime, that a forged check, the guy didn't shoot no one, he didn't rape no one. He should have just, if you're gonna freaking arrest the guy, all right, rear cuff him just like you did. Put him in a police car and just take him away. Don't freaking leave him on the street for several minutes, applying pressure like you did, and that idiot that was standing in front of that other cop just watching it. Shame on you, man. Shame on all those cops. It pisses me off because that's not how we do things. That's not how cops are. I'm telling you right now. I'm a cop myself, and I don't condone it at all. We don't practice that technique in the academy. It was wrong. These guys showed a side of cops that were evil. We're not like that. My heart goes out to his family and to the citizens of Minnesota. Just please try not to make anything worse by doing this, the looting and the burning of businesses down. That's not doing anything good. We don't want you to get hurt, and I don't want these innocent cops to be hurt as well, Not all cops are like that. I just want to press that home. In NYC, we got great cops. We got a good police commissioner. And I'm so proud of Commissioner Shea when he got on the news and said, well, we're not a racist department. If we were, he wouldn't be the commissioner. Right. You can't let those few bad apples label a whole entire department.
Exactly. That's a great message. Because, I know a lot of young officers that are starting into this career. And my heart goes out to them because this is a profession. This is a job, again, a job that at the end of the day, the likelihood of coming home or not coming home is greater, as well as potentially seeing death, or having to take a life. So this is, again, people, I don't want you guys I know you're frustrated and I know you're angry. And this was the sad thing is this is just bad fucking timing with this virus and our political state and the way things are going, our economy. Holy shit, it's like history repeating itself. It's like going back into time and seeing all these things occur, and it's happening again, and it's just saddening that as a culture, as intelligent and as highly technical as we are, we just can't seem to connect it. So here is my message, at least for me, from my opinion, is you gotta get that out of your mind. Get that out of your, like DevilDog said, not all cops are like that. Do not go after the cops, man. It's not their fault. Again, it's just a job. They're doing their job. It's just that 1%, that there's a 1% population in law enforcement that, The job just isn't right for them. Or either whatever it is. But give them a chance. And if you want to make a difference, protesting is one way. Peaceful protesting is one way. But you know what? Your voice.
Right.
The voice is weapons free, man. You need to get out there and start local. Talk to your politicians, man.
Absolutely.
You voted for these people. These people are making money. We're paying them, okay? And I'm not trying to be a rabble rouser or trying to stir the pot. I'm just saying, folks, solution minded. I'm solution driven. You bring me a problem, you better believe I'm going to have a couple solutions to present to you, and I'm going to say the same for you all. We need to bring the thinkers together. We need to have everybody who claims to be an expert on social media. Well, now is your chance to get your voice out there and say, okay, give me the solutions now. How do we fix this? I don't want to know any more about the problems. We know what the problems are, ladies and gentlemen. We know what the problems are. I'm looking for solutions. And right now, here is our chance as a voice of America. Do we have a voice? We have a question here. We have a question from Gary. Gary says, do you feel there is a similar code among cops as criminals as far as no snitching? We'll start there. He's got a couple of questions. So, do you feel there is a similar code among cops as... Oops, here we go. Do you feel there is a similar code among cops as criminals as far as no snitching?
Good question, Gary. Well, if you want me to, I can start. Well, first of all, we appreciate that question, Gary. Like I said, no holds barred. Go ahead and ask those difficult questions. There is that stigma within the police department, all departments, where you don't want to rat out your fellow officer, all the blue wall of silence. Let me tell you something. You have a duty. I don't care what department you are. You have a duty to report that type of fucking, excuse my language, that misconduct. Mm-hmm. If you see some crap like that happen and you don't freaking report it or get involved, then you know what? You're just as dirty as the guy who's doing it or the girl who's doing it. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. There is that, don't snitch on my partner. Don't snitch on the cop. You're a rat, whatever. In internal affairs, let me tell you something, man. You young cops out there, you see some crap like that, you fucking report it. Because you're going to go down with that guy or girl. You're going to go down.
Exactly.
I've been doing this for too long. Mm-hmm. I hate stuff like that. I don't tolerate stuff like that. And it's stuff like that I just saw right there. Just, man, it just brings me down. And I'm like, God damn, I can't wait to retire. And I love this job. I love this job. I really, really do. I care about what I do. I care about helping the community. I did it as a Marine. I'm doing it now as a detective. But shit, this has got to stop. And we need those senior officers to now lead by example. We need them to lead by example and tell these younger guys, that's wrong. That's not how we do things. Forget about this code of silence. If you see something like that, you damn well better report it. Or you're going to suffer the same consequences as him or her.
Another good question is, could this officer have been a problem previously, but his fellow officers wouldn't speak up against one of their own?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. This wasn't his first rodeo doing some crap like that. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I guarantee he's done crap like this before that's gone unnoticed. Yeah, this is not the first time. I guarantee it's not the first time this guy's done that. That has so much, that has hate, racism, misconduct. That's so much boiled in one.
What are your thoughts on the cam video, the cam, what do you call it, vest, what do you call them?
Body cam?
Armor, the body cam videos. Do you think that should be released right away?
Absolutely. Transparency. We need transparency. That has to. Okay. The more you hold off on releasing that body cam, the public's going to think you're fucking editing. You got something to hide. Be very transparent. Let that body cam, you have to share that with the public. The public has a right to know what the hell led to that.
Yeah, oh, exactly. And be careful what you wish for. Yeah, be careful what you wish for. It ain't going to be pretty because, again, we don't know what led up to that. So another question that came in, if there was 4 people standing around him, isn't there a technique to get him in the car with 4 people? Like, why was he out? It seemed like he was out there for display for 7 minutes.
Exactly. Yep. I mean, there's no reason he should have been on the ground for that long, especially if he's rear cuffed and he's posing no threat. You saw at one point that one officer, you know, removed him from the vehicle and then put him on the floor, you know, against the wall. It just took that one cop. The guy wasn't resisting. He wasn't flaring. You know, the guy was really cuffed. Why was he on the floor for that long? It's mind-boggling. I don't understand.
Yeah, that is. Now here's another point, another comment that was made, and again, I think this is what it all came down to. Mentions Colin Kaepernick, and LeBron James said, "This is what Kaepernick was doing this for." You know, do people finally get it? The injustice, the police injustice. Now, do you think this has any resonance with what Colin Kaepernick was trying to portray?
Well, that's exactly what he was trying to speak out against. Or was he? The reason why he did what he did was, as far as kneeling, was to bring awareness to police brutality. Hey, you know what? That was his right to do that. He wasn't hurting no one. It was a peaceful, you could say, peaceful protest. He didn't say rebel against all cops. No, he was just against police brutality. And now it's hitting people.
Injustice. Yeah.
Well, correct. Now it's hitting like, oh crap, man. Now we understand why he was doing that, and it's unfortunate because it just brings us back just when we were getting the trust of the community with this COVID-19 pandemic and how we've been conducting ourselves, and we were once again labeled as heroes and as first responders. Now we're going way back again. This is so freaking frustrating, man. Now, you know, I fear for those officers, those good officers that are out there that are being hurt, and you know, those business owners that are being affected by people looting and burning their establishments down. I understand the frustration of the community, but man, you know, we need to take this into perspective and understand, you know, not all cops are like these individuals were. There's good cops out there, and please, you know, don't hurt one another. Don't hurt the good police officers that are out there. It just kills me because, like you said, Spaniard, you know, I'm one of the good ones. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a cop. Man, I care. And that's why I took this job. I wouldn't take this job if I didn't care. You know, I don't have a racist bone in my freaking body. You know, back in Marines, what we call African Marines, African American Marines. Dark green Marines. We're all brothers, man. I could care less of your race, sexual orientation, your ethnic background, the color of your skin. You know, we got to stand with each other, man. As veterans, we understand that.
That's exactly said. And you said it right there. We have to stand with each other. And not only veterans, because I'm starting to see a lot more, you know, I think Pat O'Donnell from Veteran Views and Ernie Dillon say it best, citizen soldiers. They call them citizen soldiers. And, you know, when I come to think about that, that's really what we need to start seeing ourselves as. Not in a military sense, but, I mean, soldiering as a way of standing up for injustice. I think that's the best way that I could put it is soldiering on in a way that if you do see injustice, it comes back down to integrity, man. We all went to grammar school. We all went to elementary school. We all learned the golden rule, right? So why is it so difficult? Why are we still treating others with disrespect? And why are we so hurtful to others? Why are we so mean?
Right.
Just for the sake of being mean. That right there needs to stop in itself. And I don't know. My final message for this morning is, again, hug. Man, just hug each other. If you hug your family first, hug, and just get that warm feeling. I know it sounds stupid. Yes, I'm a hippie. I'm a whatever. Call me anything you want, but I guarantee you this. Do you know how good it feels? You know how when you were a kid and you just had one of those days and you got that hug. You know, you got that hug from either a coach, a parent, another friend, another buddy. You know what? That's a good start. I think we need to go back to hugging. Let's forget about the whole virus bullshit for now, but I just go back to caring, man. Right. We need to get back to caring for one another again. And I think if we start there, maybe this might change. And again, maybe it's the timing. Maybe there's so much frustration. I don't know, but we definitely, you said it best, we definitely need to start making changes for the better.
Of course.
I don't know. Thank you so much for taking the time out before I sign us off. Let me make sure there's no other comments. Nope, that was it. Good questions. We're gonna try to do this again, where you ask DevilDog questions, We may do it on a Tuesday and Thursday. For right now, we're going to work on that. We'll talk about that more offline. But if you guys are interested about asking questions, asking a cop, real deal questions, weapons, voices are weapons free here. Ask away. We're going to do this again next week. So hopefully by then, nothing else will break the news in a more horrific manner as we just seen here these past couple days. But stay tuned, man. And like I said, take advantage. We have DevilDog here. He is a plethora of knowledge. So, DevilDog, thanks again for putting on the show for us. Any final thought?
Just, my sincere and deepest condolences on behalf of myself and my family and all good law enforcement officers. We're sorry. We feel your pain. My condolences to his family. And, just be patient. Yes, justice will be served. The first step was firing these individuals. The next step is prosecuting them. Justice will be served. To all those people out there, please, it's okay to protest. Just protest peacefully in his memory. And, all these cops, please wear your vests, watch each other's back, and understand that the community is in pain. Be patient with them and be understanding with them. So on behalf of myself and the good law enforcement officers out there, we appreciate all the hard work that you cops do, but be mindful of how the community feels. On that note, thank you for joining us this morning, and we'll be back next week to answer more questions. Stay safe.
Hoorah.